So tell me about how you exited that project when it was over and you were free from it.
Yeah, I think the whole crux of philosophy, if you were told to ask me what is it in a nutshell, it is going from selfish to unselfish to selfless, right? So I think if you understand the concept behind it, it will give you more of an idea of how I got to where I got to. So if you it's easier for you to solve your friend's problems than it is your own, right? Because when you're thinking of someone else, your mind is less agitated, you're more objective, you can think clearer, you can make better quality decisions. That's why the answer's in you, you can use it for your friend. Whereas for yourself, when you're thinking about yourself, your mind's really agitated, you can't think very clearly. So for me, it was like, well, the more unselfish I am, the more peace of mind I'm going to have. And that's why, obviously to a limit. If you go too far, you start resenting, so it's a limit, but it's a slow 1% sort of better every day. So when I was thinking about my exit, it was not about what I'm going to get out of it or what's going to happen. And I think as you get to that point, it's like, okay, now you get a certain amount of responsibility. Now there's the okay, so if I at the end of it had my exit and then was like, okay, let me go and spend this money on myself, and I know that's not gonna bring me happiness. I've seen enough people with money who aren't happy. So because that's my interest. I've asked them, and I can see they're always searching for the next thing. It's like chasing a mirage, So for me, it was to continue my goal is self-realization, right? It's, if you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the very top is self-actualization, reaching your full potential as a human being. So self-development's always been my goal, and I know I'll never reach it because self-development.
It's a process.
It's a process, yeah. It's a process that can always be developed, and you can always grow towards it. So all I wished was for that site to be sold at the time. So I had my exit and wanted to continue pursuing my spiritual goal because this was part of my journey. Everything has to be aligned. So karma yoga is a way of reaching the self through action. Right, so my business was my karma, and so I continued. So I got married in 2018. My wife was a student of Vedanta. I met her at an ashram in India, and we got married. She came to London. She's a sound healer, Vedic sound healer. So I've just continued sticking to my principles. Thank God I have them, because there's just so many opportunities where you can go off the rails. It's a lot of responsibility, it's a lot of money, and you need to have those values.
But it didn't happen on day one when you just started your business that you already had all this knowledge and all this spirituality. So if you go back to when you just started your business, what was the motivation for you?
Oh, to make money, the whole thing for my parents were, money, people don't respect you if you don't have money, you need the power, you need it was very much, I was living in central London, had very wealthy friends, it was all about just,
So tell me a little bit about that time, because I want you to help me explain to our audience how you developed over time into where you are today.
Yeah, so obviously I came out of boarding school, and I hadn't had and moved to central London. So I hadn't had exposure to the nightclubs and I was sort of in a bubble. And when I came to central London, and I met some very wealthy Arab friends of mine who just wanted to party every day. Right?
Yeah,
they just want to go out, and that was what life was about, right? It was about going to, having nice things and girls and just having a great time. Which I realized, I went to a nightclub, I had to get my credit card the next day because I'd left it behind. And I went and I walked in and I was like, this is just disgusting. It just smells bad. It's just, if you ever go to a nightclub, the next day, it's a flash in the pan, and I realized, I was like, I want to spend time developing my day life, my action, not my nightlife. There's no point having the best table in the club because the next day you wake up with a hangover and nothing really to show for it apart from a long receipt out of your pocket. So I saw at that time that wasn't bringing me happiness, and I was chasing something. So when I read the Vedanta Treatise, this amazing book,
and I did read it. Thank you. Amazing.
It just talks about, the self, and it talks about, why does one person smokes a cigarette and absolutely loves it, another person can't stand the smell of smoke? If the cigarette is happiness, why wouldn't it give happiness to both people? So it's the same with everything in the world. It's not the world that has happiness. It's actually how we relate to it. So how do you catch your shadow? Put your hand on your head. It's all about self-development. Even if you say, life, you have you and you have the world, we're constantly improving the world. But if we can improve ourselves a little bit, every experience becomes that much better. So by developing yourself, actually you're developing every experience. And when I read this and I was like, actually that really resonates with me. It works. And that's when I started sort of studying it deeper. And that's when my business started, dealing with my friend in jail and dealing with his father and the responsibilities and that came to me very, very early. I was just applying it, and my discipline and my perseverance and everything that I was studying. As I said, I was slowly getting better and better and better, and everything was growing with me.